storm come rolling in, but you don't know me like you say you do. Will I run and find myself, or will I bite the dust and stay with you? You can help me breathe, but only if I let you. I wanna let you in, but easily forget you. Try to settle down and try to worry less, 'cause when we face the eye, I hold you in my chest. All my life I've been so cold. I break the hourglass and watch time unfold, and I try to make it back in this raging sea, 'cause I'm way too deep, 'cause I'm way too deep.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday, March 5th, 2016. And it's really hard to talk when you have water in your mouth, so I'm not sure exactly why I did that, but okay. Okay, so last time we were working on setting up chess pieces so you can place them in a level. I'll actually show you an example of that. And just kind of not wrap up, kind of show what we were doing last time. Good evening, it's Saturday night. No, I'm not gonna get sued by NBC or whatever. It's NBC, right? I think Saturday Night. Ask the Canadian, right? Oh, their builder is right. I didn't finish that. I really need to stop this. I don't like this error method. Right, so close here, and then in game mode. There, and let's see if I can build that. Yep, okay, build. And we decided that what we were doing earlier was not really going to work, because we would need to have some way to launch into the game and access it that way, because we'll eventually have to do that, so it makes sense to do it now. Because the structure we'll have to do that will end up being used later on. So that way we can design based on the structure. Well, we can't do that if we don't have the structure, so. I don't mean structure is necessarily as like a U-struct or something. I mean like structure isn't like a framework. Even though it may end up being boiled down to a single U-struct. But anyway. So this is the... looks like it's running a little bit quicker than normal. Huh. Yeah, I'm recording and stuff. Good. Okay. So we have... in-game. Now if we want to place an item in level, which we go to C++ classes, and sorry I have to point my microphone a bit better now, but if we have a command browser like this, we can grab here, pull the bishop into the scene, and it'll now drop immediately where on the 0 plane. If we let go, actually it'll be it's technically on the plane of the capsule's half height, but that's not important. If we let go, that's going to snap to the nearest tile. And it will also take the location of that tile directly. So if we, and also if we put another one here, it won't snap on the same tile. You have to be on a different tile. And it'll snap there. That way you can't accidentally have two pieces assigned to the same thing. Oh, I have a glitch. Okay. Didn't want to jump back to its own version, but it's okay. So its location is 1616. This is 1617. So if I move it this way, it should be 1615. There we are. Cool. Now we will restore the level. And by restore, I mean undo all the changes we just made to it, because I don't really want to... It's a test level, but if I can get as much gunk out of it as possible, that's a bonus. Anyway, right, so we have all that now. And we started to try to find things like spawn number and things like that, but in order for us to do that, we have to have the spawns done up, and in order for us to have the spawns, we have to have the user start, the player start as a spawn, but we also have the user interface to push people into those spawn points. So we're going to need to do a new level. This one will be for the menu, so we'll go to open new level. We'll make it a default level. Why not? And here, so let's go into level manager, and we'll add a new variable to it. Or do we want to do that? Do we want to do that? So the thing I'm confused about right now is how I want to actually define it. If I want to... Okay, so the idea is that when you launch a game, no matter where you launch, you're launching into a level of some sort. That's how Unreal Engine 4 is basically structured. If you're launching into a menu, you're launching into a menu level. Sounds a bit weird, but that's actually what's happening. I'm not sure if that's how it was in Unreal Engine 2, but I'm pretty sure it's how it was in Unreal Engine 3 and 4. So, there's a bunch of things that fall out of that. First off, you need to create levels for each individual one, but you also need to create player controllers and other types of backing to be able to control it. Right, so the question is, what do I want this system to be? Do I want to have it depends on how I want to actually structure this, in how I want to allow the player to be able to control the menus versus the game. Do I want to have one player controller for both, which will make it a bit easier if I want to have menu interactions and stuff on screen as well as the game. But then that might introduce some bugs if I have state that kind of shouldn't belong in the state it is, right? Because I could have them two different player controllers, and actually, can you? I know you can swap pawns. Can you swap player controllers? I don't think so. So how would you do that? Would you want to have a different player controller? There's a bunch of ways you can do it. Just try and think of the pros and cons of each. Because before you even start prototyping, you kind of want to think of potential pros and cons. It's funny, I thought about this beforehand, and now that I'm actually going into it, when the stream starts, it's like, oh, wait a minute, there might be some other problems involved with that. Actually, I'm going to hide and mute my webcam's microphone. It was already muted, but, you know, just one extra layer of that. Sadly, I'm not getting recorded from two microphones at once, if that glitch occurs. So let's look into player controller for a second. From a functional standpoint, it doesn't matter what I do, because I can, well, when I load the game, I'll load a game state, and that game state will transfer all of the data I need to send between levels, between menus, things like that. Very simply, it'll just take care of that. The problem, though, is so it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter if I have different player controllers, different pawns for menu and stuff like that, because it'll all be writing to the game state, and that's replicated across all maps, across all instances, across all levels, basically, for the period between the game turning on and turning off. It's a variable that just stays around forever until you turn off the game. But the question would be, what would be easiest to handle for user, and it depends on how frequently we want to be switching between map and between menu and game. You know what? We're not actually going to worry about that right now. Let's worry a little bit about how the interface will look. So let's get rid of that. Player start would be good. Okay, so now if I move a so this is going to end up being our menu level, our tile menu level. And I'm thinking of having kind of, kind of a look of our pawn, look towards our pawn wearing a pair of shades. And kind of like a cartoony check it. Something like here. Assuming actually probably something like this. Let's see if I can get this here. So something like this. You have check it, and then like press start or whatever, and then the menu will pop up in front. Let's actually drag a material onto that. Here. And now we'll need to think of stuff to put around the pawn. Matter of fact, it's looking a bit dull. So let's try doing advanced lighting. Use HDRI. We won't use sunlight. Will be fine. Atmosphere is fine. What was the other one? Was it atmospheric fog? It wasn't this, I don't think. No, it wasn't. I remember I had this problem in the other one, but too. I couldn't remember what it was. Was it Skybox? Skylights. Capture scene, wasn't light source. Oh, what was it? I want, it's the other one I don't want. Oh, another thing I was going to say as well is that we're now working on user interface and things like that. It's been, I believe, this is the third week? I believe it's the third week of us doing that. We're going to finish off on, we're probably going to do another one on Monday, probably another one on Tuesday as well. So that'll be the first 15 days. I would like to at some point start doing theme days like 20% day and stuff I was talking about, like from episode 1, where I do some other side projects that people can watch that are not quite related to this, but they are still kind of related in some way. One thing I'm thinking of doing is possibly working on offloaded sound, so basically making a secondary sound system for Unreal Engine that would be purely managed, so that way whenever Vulkan gets implemented to it, I'll see if I can make a GPU accelerated audio engine. Again, I've done it in WebCL before. Like perspective animations, yeah, that could be one. As a matter of fact, I'll even show you one. I'm not sure if Ryan wants me to show you this stuff yet, but for streaming out loud tomorrow, I was working on a few animations. And let's try this one here. So, and that's actually one of the reasons why I need to stop early today, is because I'm actually doing more of these. But here's one. Here. So we're gonna have this be a looping background animation. Supposedly, we're intending to do that on the stream tomorrow. It's one of the least exciting ones, but it's a simple in a good way, hopefully, one. Ryan was looking for like video bumpers and things like that for the live stream for a long time now, apparently, so I still have a license to a trial license to Adobe Animate, so I was like, let's try use it for that. That's not what I'm. So what I was talking about earlier for piece perspective animations, like explanation animations, that's actually not what I was doing. Those are done in Blender, similar to how these video bumpers are going to be done. But Yeah, so it's you can kind of get the idea behind that. But yeah, I'm hoping to get all that done. Sunlight. Atmosphere can't be it, is it? Okay, there we are. Now if I go back to Light Studio, turn on this atmosphere again. Oh, that's not alright. Okay, now that I set it up, I need to figure out how to re-enable it now. Okay, there we are. Disabled it there, so now that's good. I'm gonna eventually swap out the HDRI map. There's actually a few of them online. And which one was this? There's one I'm thinking of that was University. Was it Sybil? I don't think it was Sybil. No, that definitely wasn't it. There's only like 6 of them, but they were released, if I remember correctly, like completely. Why is it so hard? This was one of the popular ones. It's not public domain. Hey, Folston. Okay, I'm gonna look through. Look through the content I have and see if the name of the website is on it. Where was that? Wasn't Grace. I just don't think it was Grace. 1 second, I'm gonna switch to my webcam here to see if this is a correct one. Maybe this was it. Okay, so let's look and see where we get that from. Details. Oh, maybe this is the right one. Yeah, that's it, okay. So this is what I was talking about here. All of these images are free to use, and you can use them in place of Epic's front lawn. I can't remember what the license is for this, though. USC high-res probes license. Let's look for that. All data is available for personal research purposes. Oh, they're not licensed for commercial. Oh. That could be a problem. So these are openly available for both personal and commercial, but these are personal or research. Okay. So we'll have to figure out a different one then. But whatever. There's yeah. We'll eventually find a cube map generation that either I can license or is free to be used without a license. And when we do that, yeah. You kind of see how this would be like that. And oops. It's a lot of debug commands here. Oops. There we are. It's Shift F1. There we are. Then we'll have check it, and then, you know, press start or whatever. So one thing we want to do for this is create a pair of sunglasses for the pawns. So what we're going to do is we're going to start up Blender. We're going to open up our pawn model. Now I have to remember which ones was which, which ones were which. Because I remember I screwed up some of these earlier. So see Unreal Projects models. think it was scaled that I did. Okay, so let's look at here. Scaled. Piece bishop scaled. The dimensions are 70 centimeters, 70 centimeters, 1.5 meters. And now we can go into edit mode here. So let's go into object mode here. Is that in here? Okay, so it's in there. So it's in this model, so we'll go into edit mode. And we'll zoom in. Or was it not scaled? Let's open up smoothed. Dimensions is 70, 70, 190. Which is, no. Metric, 0.01. So if you're wondering what I'm trying to do, there was, as you can see in here, there was a bug where I had a cylinder attached to every freaking model. Oh, that's funny, I'm colliding with it. Cute. I'm trying to remove this cylinder, so I'm trying to find out what it is, where it is, and otherwise get rid of it, right? So this looks smoothed. Oh, here's what we can do. We can open up the pawn. Smoothed here. So smoothed is fixed. Let's look at scaled. Oops. Open pawn scaled. Crummy. The thing was I had a glitch where one of these edges was not smoothed. So I was hoping I would see which one was broken and then be like, oh, that's the one I need to use. Or that's the one I can't use because I fixed it already, right? So if I see it and it's not fixed, then I know it's the wrong one. Okay, so scaled, let's see here. Okay, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother with this. Let's open up the pawn. I'll fix the glitch earlier. Later, I mean. So let's open up scaled. And now we will make a pair of sunglasses for it. So, we're going to create a... Actually, before we do that, let's look at some reference. So, okay. It'll be 1 second while I bump notes. Okay, so we kind of have the rough idea. Basically, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up by okay, let's look up here. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 5 by 24. So we will make a box that's 5 by 24. Some things, and we'll scale it to that. So add cube. Oof, it's a pretty big one. And then in let's go in object mode first. We'll have it be 24 by 5. Maybe 5 by 24. And Z would be weird. Oh, was I in edit mode when I did that? Okay, let's reload the file. There we are. Okay. So now let's go to object mode, and then we will add a mesh, a cube. It'll be 24 2, and then for Z will be 5, because Z's up, right? Okay, now I need to translate it such that it's roughly where it needs to go. It actually looks pretty close to what I need, but not entirely. We're gonna operate on it. In this coordinate system, and then we're going to scale it up to what we need later on. And the reason why I want to do that is because in this case I can break it down to centimeter by centimeter blocks. Edit mode. Here. And we'll do subdivide. And instead of number of cuts, we're going to have, so we need 24 sections, so we'll need to do 23 cuts. Okay. And now going all the way around. I probably should have done the other side first, that way we'll have less selects to do, but hey, that's planning ahead for you. We'll add 5 cuts to these, and then we'll have a pixel grid of, well, a 3D voxel grid of 1 centimeter cubes. Subdivide, in this case through 4 cuts, because 4 cuts will make 5 cubes. Bingo. Okay, now looking back at this, we go down one and we kind of do a scissors cut this way, scissor cut up, scissor cut up. So following this pattern, which I could bring into the scene and we can see it overlaid, but the easier way is to just, have me look. Actually, the easier way Yeah. I'm lame. Anyway, right. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. And boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Now, it's not the most efficient use of polygons, but, you know, it works. First off, we're not really concerned about Unreal Engine 4 being able to handle Unreal Engine 4 being able to handle that many polygons, but, you know, even still. Now it's starting to look more like it, even though it's a rendering glitch, but whatever. Okay, now, whoops, here, as I selected, there we are. Face, face, face. Now when I do this, the normals may not end up being correct. It may kind of make the geometry kind of go in on itself. So I'll need to fix that. But like I was saying, once we, once we get the structure correct, we can then start reducing polygons, even though Unreal Engine 4 probably doesn't matter that much. Matter of fact, let's see how many polygons we're going to have once we finish this. Oops, that's not the right button, but okay. Whoops. Okay, now that we have this all sealed, I will grab this object and we will see triangles almost 2,000. For reference, the 3D model I made for Unreal Engine 3 of a character, a kind of a monkey character. Let's actually see if I can get that. Here. Nah, okay, I'm not gonna bother with that. For reference, that character I was talking about, though, for Unreal Engine 3 was 3,200 polygons, I believe. So that's pretty close compared to what I have in a pair of shades. but okay. Object mode. X is 0. There we are. Again, we're going to scale it up a little bit so that way the arms we put back are on the sides of the head, not going into the head, right? Thankfully, circles are, generally speaking, pretty easy to predict. So, if it's 24 wide, if we make it go 24 back, it will be a square, which will go back to around, that's not the right movement at all. Oh, there we are. Oh, where's right? I just need to, there we are. So if we have it go back, the glasses will be around here, and it'll go back to around there. So we probably want to go about 3/4 of the way there. So 3/4 of 24 is 18? Yeah, 18. So we'll make these extend 18 back. We already have one, so we need to do 17 more back. So let's grab edit mode face here. And then we will do extrude this way by 1 centimeter. And then so that's 2, extrude this way, 1 centimeter. And before let's continue, let's make sure that the inside is okay. Couldn't remember if Blender in extrusions knew to nullify internal faces. So it's a 3, 4, 5. Hey, John Alcatraz. So we're doing 18. I'd say 5 for this would be good. Now we can switch to the smaller frames. Extrude. Six, this is 7. 8, 9, 10. I'll explain what's going on in just a second. That's 10. Okay, so I need to do 6 more, or 8 more. But what we had is we're working on the menu now that we have. That we have the basic camera controls and all that stuff reset. I'm going to probably have it be where you're looking up on the pawn. It's probably looking down on you, wearing deal with it shades. And have it like check it, and then press start somewhere down here or whatever. And then the menu will appear over top of this, and you can deal with that however you want. So what we're doing right now is we're making deal with it glasses. Somewhat like this or like this. It's 10, 11, 12, and we're kind of doing it on 1 centimeter voxels, although triangulated. So this is 12, 13, 14. No problem, John. Your little Minecraft demo was actually pretty awesome. 14, 15, 16. And then 17. Then 18. And now we need to, now we have these shades kind of mulled out. We'll need to have them go down. So let's go grab this one here. We'll make them go, let's go all 5 way down. -1 centimeter. -1 centimeter. -1 centimeter. And one more. 1 centimeter. Now I'm going to extrude both of these back, -1 centimeter, and delete degenerate faces, or delete the internal faces. It's not degenerate, it's yeah. Loose screw. So the question is, why is it loose screw development stream instead of check it stream? It is a check it stream. Just that loose screw is kind of the name of my video game company that I'm coming up with, I guess. It's only the name of the company if it's successful, but if it is successful, that'll be what the name is. It was a name I came up with when I was a kid. Well, kid. I was in high school. Some people may consider that a kid, I don't know. It was 12 years ago or so. Yeah. Thought of it, the name, when I was listening to a Pearl Jam album, and they were playing Sweet Lou, which is talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, actually. One guy was a big fan of his, and then met him and apparently thought he was an ass. so they wrote a song about how he basically let him down. Makes sense, I guess. Actually, I'm wondering if I want to go back a little bit and have it kind of go back like this instead of having it go straight down. Or maybe if I just make it go down 4. Yeah, I'll make it go down 4 instead of all 5. Bing. Delete faces. And I know I can save a bit of time by doing it mirrored, but by the time it takes for me to set up and do it, I'll, you know, be already pretty much done. Okay, so now that I have this, I'll do a quick normals check. So we will draw normals. Face normal size 1 centimeter. Let's do actually a ½ centimeter. There we are. Object mode. Oh, I need to be in edit mode for that. So if I see any face without one of these lines coming out of it, I know I screwed up, or rather, the create face tool screwed up. But if they're all pointed outwards, then they'll draw properly in Unreal Engine, and they'll be fine. This is the normal, so it's the direction of the face. You want all of these. So in video games, all faces for simplicity, like for performance reasons, have a direction to it. You don't have a infinitely thin wall, and in real world you don't have an infinitely thin wall either. Even this, tissue has two sides to it. You may want to approximate it by one, but actually it even has more than that. It probably has, even if it's completely flat, it would have, I'm blanking, 6. It would have 6 walls to it. Here, there, there, there. They would be very small, and then the big flat ones over here. If you want to approximate it by 1, you could, but unless you do double-sided rendering, if you turn the tissue around, you'd see right through it. There'd be nothing there. To see which side's front, you have to do a normal. This has some usage as well for. I was gonna say it has some usage for point and triangle tests, but I'm not sure now. Do barycentric coordinates flip? It's been like 3 years since, or 2.5 years since I had to do that, so I'm actually now not trusting what I just said. Oops. Yeah. So now we have it. Our model is all working fine. We will save as pawn with shades. Save its Blender file there, and now we need to expand this. So in object mode here, so it's 70 centimeters, so it should be probably 25 centimeters for the head. Oh, I know how I can figure that one out. Let's go to edit mode. Let's get the world position of the furthest out. Or at least not even the first out, just the size we're going to have it, because it's not going to be all the way down, right? So this is at 23.09699. So if we have it be 23.1, which doubled would be 46.2. That could be the width of our head at this level that we're going to have the glasses at. So we'll need to scale from 24 wide to 46.2. So 24 divided by 46.2 divided by 24 is 1.925. So if I then scale this up by 1.925, should be good. So scale command 1.925, bing, and then we will actually, it looks a little bit small. Let's go a bit larger than that. So scale, let's do a full 2. Now if we do a, this won't actually appear in the render, in the game I should say, because it's not going to be like that, but if we have this be new material, pure black. Then have this be a new material, which will have I'm in Blender render. Right, let's go to cycles. Yeah, there's that. Then we'll have this one be here. Diffuse color is let's use nodes. This one we want glossy BSDF. Color is somewhere around here. Roughness is 0.25. GCX. Then we flip to rendered mode. And based on an environment that's lit like this, that'll be roughly what it looks like. Yeah. You can see this will be different in different lighting, of course, but yeah. This is going to be roughly what the check it screen's going to look like. I'll probably tilt the mesh a little bit. But yeah, this is check it's press start. That's that. And I have to disconnect now, unfortunately. I was planning on streaming until 9:30, and that's when it is now. So anyone have any quick questions before I head out? I'll make sure to save this, of course. So even though we kind of use this as a guide for now, we're going to be modifying it a little bit. Probably end up looking a bit more like this. And then we'll have that be in the game like so. So any questions before I head out? So if anyone is just joining us again, like John Alcatraz, we've restarted. This is the third week of us doing it. We're on episode, I think, 12 now. 13, I think. Because we did Thursday, Friday, and this is Saturday. Yeah, it'll be 13. And we're going to be doing it proper now. We're going to have, well, I'll even show you the, here. Let's actually not even save this level just yet. Don't save. This is the, actual interface now. We, now have proper controller support. We can move around the level. And instead of moving freely with a camera, we're actually going to be constrained to the grid. This allows us to select units easier, and we can now rotate on the 8 directions instead of the 4. And I can still move in and out, of course. Okay, since there doesn't seem to be any questions, I'm going to call it a night. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a good night. Yeah, it's a lot smoother now. Thanks, John Petras. Before it was the mouse wheel, but now that it's... I mean, I still allow mouse wheel, but now I'm allowing animations as well as analog input. Yeah, thanks for watching. Wrong one. This one. There we are.